Wow, Kevin. Thank you. Excuse me. Good morning. My name is Bonnie Clayland, and I've been a member of Unity Churches for going on 28 years, 8 of them in Unity on the River, and the rest here at Unity of the Seacoast. Where 2 or more gathered, we always see a crowd. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to welcome any new listeners, and if you feel in your heart to come and visit us personally sometimes, please do that. We're at Suite 246 at the McConnell Center in Dover. So please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. And we always start off with the daily word, which today is guidance. I seek, trust, and follow my guidance. Seeking divine guidance means tuning out information and opinions and turning inward. Then with an open heart and quiet mind, I can better feel the nudge of my intuition, my inner voice. I receive divine guidance much in the way flowers in a field soak up sunshine. Just as following the sun is innate for them, I have the instinct to trust my inner knowing. Even if my guidance surprises me, I trust it to lead me on the path to my highest good. I follow where I feel called to go. I heed the still, small voice within and pay particular attention to the serendipitous circumstances I find along the way. I seek, trust, and follow my guidance. As I do, I deepen my relationship with God. Knowing wherever I go, I do not travel alone. And out of Isaiah chapter 58, verse 11, the Lord will guide you continually. And again, the affirmation for today is I seek, trust, and follow my guidance. And we also, just bear with me for a moment, this is kind of, and we also share our mission statement. If you'd like to join me, feel free to. It'll be up there on the slide. We're a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awakening oneness with God within us. Okay, there's a lot of thoughts, comments, announcements. The first Monday of every month, Charles has a meditation at 7 p.m. And also, we've been broadcasting live to YouTube on YouTube channel. Just type in Unity of the Seacoast in the YouTube search button. But even easier is just to go to our webpage at unityoftheseacoast.org and scroll down until you see the links to bring you to our live services or even past services, in case you want to check anything out. And while you're there, look around. We have had a fair amount of wonderful changes, thanks to Linda Kay. All our talks are archived there. If there's something you want to look back and reflect on, feel free to do it. Excuse me. Our donate button is also there, and we tithe through Tithely. If you feel called to tithe, please go to that app or just download the app, and it'll give you instructions to follow. And if you feel called to send a check instead of go to tithe, our mailing address is Unity of the Seacoast, McConnell Center, Suite 246, 61 Locust Street, Dover, New Hampshire. And also, don't forget to check out our meetup group for all our events. You can also access this on our webpage as well. And I believe Tracy'd like to come up and share about yesterday's yard sale.
Thank you, Bonnie. I just wanted to take a minute and thank everybody who participated in the yard sale. It was a great turnout. Lots of people helped get the yard sale going. We were able to raise quite a bit of money for the church, which was wonderful. And the thing that I loved the most in it was the teamwork we had, getting to know people from the church a little bit more. And also we gave money, or sorry, not money, we gave things from the yard sale away at the end to people who could use it. And we were able to give some things to children, which was a lot of fun. So thank you very much, everybody who's here that participated in the yard sale and people at home who participated. It was a wonderful turnout, and it was an example how Unity of the Seacoast is really doing the mission statement. Thank you.
I think now Kevin is going to come up and share some more music with us. speaker I've known for a long time. I asked Amy to be okay, because you're going to see a totally different person. Oh, gee. I didn't see you praying. See how excited I got Amy to introduce you? From what I knew her as. So I'm just going to share a little of her history. I met Amy at Unity of the River in between 1995 and 1996. She was very shy and never talked much. And however, when a few of us used to go out to breakfast after the service, Amy would always be there. She'd be sitting adjacent to me, to my right, across the table, but I don't ever remember her saying anything. And at that time, I was not confident enough to just start a conversation with anyone or ask any questions. But I always remembered her presence. Whenever I seen her, she always had a smile, but she never said anything. So in 2016, when suddenly our pastor and board left, some of us stepped up to make sure that Unity of the Seacoast we would not lose Unity of the Seacoast. We wanted to make sure we carried it forward. So we formed a team, and I knew a lot of speakers, and in my heart, in my meditation prayer, God said to me, you need to invite speakers with messages of hope. And of course, right away I thought of Shipley. She started in her living room with 3 people, and she expanded immensely. Amesbury, when I went there was like maybe a few more than people sitting right here, and that eventually they bought half of a plaza in Amesbury. And lots of times, especially during holidays, there was standing room only. And when I called her, she couldn't do it that Sunday. So I knew David Tompkinson. He had expanded to at Dover, 2nd Street, when he was a pastor there. And he says, I can't do it, I'm sorry. And so he says, but I know someone who can. He says, Amy Joslin can. And I thought, Amy Joslin? And quote his words, Amy is really good. And I picked up that phone, invited Amy, and she was more than happy to come here. So grateful for you, Amy. So it's interesting when you sent what your message was going to be about. Independence depends on you. And Amy is such an example of someone who follows their dreams, who has a dream at the beginning, who has a dream. She had a dream. And I'm going to read her current bio just in a couple minutes here. And Amy and I would see each other at the, we went to personal growth workshops at Jackie Woodside. She didn't talk much there, but she was always a helper there and do things. Her presence was always there, even in Massachusetts, wherever we went. So anyway, this is Amy's bio today. Amy Joslin is a licensed Unity teacher from Unity on the River in Massachusetts. Amy's passion has always been to support those on the path, whether it be as a licensed Unity teacher, minister, or seeker who is inspired to expand their consciences. Amy is honored to be serving a 2nd term as our licensed Unity teacher representative for the Unity Eastern region. She holds a monthly Zoom gathering, often with special guests. Her intention is to create a safe and sacred space for licensed Unity teachers and teachers in training to connect, learn, and support one another. So without further ado, I want to have a warm welcome once again for Amy Joslin.
Very much. Thank you very much, Bonnie. That was beautiful. I've come come a long way. I really have. Um, my 7th grade English teacher wrote in my yearbook, Amy, quiet people need to make more noise. So I've been trying to do that ever since. I feel called and need to just bring us into a moment of prayer. Just coming into this conscious awareness, wiggle your toes, breathe. As we come into the conscious awareness of all that we know the divine to be, for me that is love and intelligence and beauty and life and order, that divine hum, that catalytic energy that is intrinsic in the vast and in the minuscule. It is the allness that is. It is the isness that is. It is the ever-evolving, ever-expansive good that is. It is pure potentiality. It is infinite possibility. And by glorious and reasonable deduction, I know that in its everywhere presentness, that it is fully present in and through and as me, that it is me, and that it is in and through and as everyone who is present here, everyone that we call to mind, every person, place, or thing, for there is no spot that God is not. I am grateful for this opportunity to gather, to speak, to celebrate, to come together in conscious common union and community, to celebrate and remember the truth of who we are as beloved children of the Most High God. I am grateful that we live in a world, we live in a country where we are free to speak, to love, to dream, and to share in this bountiful universe. So today we gather, we love, we celebrate, we connect, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. So my talk title this morning is My Independence Depends on You. Can everyone hear me okay? Good. All right. Okay, so my talk title is My Independence Depends on You. And my talk title today is inspired by the expansive power of we. I am well aware of that divine paradox that we as a nation prepare to celebrate the anniversary of our country's independence, that our independence, both individually and collectively, is reliant on our interdependence. I can't be independent alone. I can't be independent without you, and you can't be independent without me. And I was just thinking as I was driving in here this morning about all the inventions, all the innovation that made it possible for me to be standing here. Things like indoor plumbing and electricity and light and my coffee maker and my car and paved roads. And just even the fact that I'm a woman standing before you, giving a message. All the people that go into making a service, right? It's not just about the speaker. Like it takes a village to bring the service together. So the infinite number of freedoms that I enjoy today. Oop, ouch. Sorry about that, guys. It struck the mic. There are an infinite number of freedoms that I enjoy today because of the ingenuity, because of the bravery and the sacrifices of others. So my independence depends on you. So when I speak, I always like to, my formula is basically what, why, how. So what do I mean by that? Why I think it's something relevant for us to ponder. And then the fifth unity principle is that it's not enough to know this truth, but we must live the truth that we know. How are some of the ways that we can do this? So in unity, we talk about consciousness. And here's the thing, we both affect and are affected by that collective consciousness. Charles Fillmore referred to it as race consciousness, which I think if you were around today, he might change the wording on that. But here's the thing, we're in that collective consciousness soup together. We are living on a giant ball that we call planet Earth. That our thoughts and our words and our actions have an effect. We all create our own ripple effect, so to speak, for generations. I mean, we touch people's lives that we may never meet, but because we touch the life of someone we know, and they turn to touch their life, that ripple is expansive. Like I said, we never know how we touch another person's life. So I've always been intrigued by an African concept which is called Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. Desmond Tutu says that one meaning of Ubuntu is correct behavior, but correct in the sense is defined by a person's relationship with other people. That Ubuntu refers to behaving well towards others and acting in ways that benefit the community, such as helping a stranger in need, or even more complex other ways of helping each other. They've done a lot of studies on children in Africa, and they did one where they had a bunch of kids, and someone was doing an experiment, and they had a basket full of oranges. And instead of the kids racing and competing to get to the oranges, they all took hands together, and they all ran together and shared the oranges. And that's an example of Ubuntu. It's not about competition. It's been, how can we really support one another to be the highest expression that we can be? So my independence depends on you. So why do I think that it's important for us to realize this? The reason is because I think we can become apathetic and complicit when things don't seem like they're having an impact on us. Have you ever heard of bystander apathy? Bystander apathy, the gist of that is that as an individual, is an individual's likelihood to help decreases when it sees other people being passive in an emergency. And there's a lot of factors around that support that. Sometimes people, because there's a lot of people and no one seems to be acting like there's an emergency, they don't think that there's an actual emergency. Sometimes people are afraid to step in because they're afraid of being wrong. So it's an evaluation apprehension. But what they found is that if I'm driving by and I see you stop to help somebody, even if I don't stop then, I'm more likely, if I see somebody else down the road or if I see someone tomorrow, to stop and help because I witnessed somebody else helping. Isn't that amazing? We are wired for connection. Has anyone ever heard of Rat Park? Actually, go on and watch the video on that because it's pretty cool. So what they found is that some of the ideas that we've been holding in society about addiction have been wrong. You know, we tend to isolate the person of addiction, put them, in a rehab setting, like where there's no interaction and things like that. And they found out that was wrong. And there was a psychologist by the name of Bruce Alexander. And he kind of questioned that the results they were getting from the studies they were doing. They were putting, essentially what they were doing is they were putting a rat by himself in a box with 2 bottles of water. One was laced with heroin and one was regular water. And of course, the rat would choose the heroin water because he was by himself. So he got this idea. He's like, what if it's about the environment? And so what he did is he created Rat Park. Now, Rat Park is like a Disney for rats. It's got everything a rat could possibly want. It's got colored balls. It's got lots of cheese and snacks. It's got friends. It's got sex. It's got a rats like tin cans, so it's got plenty of tin cans, and it's got little hamster wheels in it. Everything a rat could possibly want is in the rat park. And here's the thing. They had a bottle of water that was just water, and they had the bottle with the heroin-laced water. And the rats didn't touch the heroin-laced water. That they found that it's about connection. See, we're wired for connection. We're wired to connect, to love and witness one another and come up against each other and then come back together again. We're wired for that. I came across, it's funny, one of the wonderful things sometimes about Facebook and your phone is that I was looking for something else in Google. And next thing you know, on my Facebook, different things pop up. And one of the things that popped up was this wonderful nonprofit called Stand Together. And it's got all kinds of really great videos. It's almost like they're like TED Talks. They're great, but they also have lots of tools, and they're doing like really great work in the world. And one of the people that was presenting on Stand Together was Todd Rose. And Todd Rose is the co-founder and president of Populace, which is a Boston-based think tank. And he was previously a Harvard professor. He served on the faculty of the Mind, Brain, and Education program. He's a New York Times bestseller. He's written several books. One is The End of Average and Collective Illusions. And he states that progress comes when we invest in people. Everyone has something to offer. We make progress by the way that we view human potential. And then he says, in reality, that it's always been a fight between two very kinds of view about potential. There's a control view, and the control view is kind of deeply rooted in skepticism that most people are incapable of very little and have little to offer, which becomes only, the only way to make progress is if you give control to a small group of people that controls everything. And then there's an empowerment view. The empowerment view believes that we all have dignity and worth and that everyone has something to contribute. That, for me, sounds like the second unity principle, that we all have a spark of the divine within us. He states that, unfortunately, the empowerment view has not been the dominant view in our history. And this is from like the Dark Ages, the Renaissance era, that the darker view, the control view, has always won out. It's kind of really, I would say, a predictor of the caste system that exists in other countries and has existed in our country as well. But this is a thing that I love. He says that he states that perhaps the most important watershed moment occurred between these two different kinds of viewpoints in 1776 in our Declaration of Independence. He states the Declaration was, in its purest form, a bet on people. That every individual has something to contribute, to actually make progress in ways that benefit not just us as individuals, but rise everybody up. Not only was that true, but it was worth making this our foundation for this American experiment that we were entering into. Now, the tragedy of that beginning of these principles was that they were not evenly applied. We excluded African Americans, Native Americans, women. It was really about white land-owning men. But our history has been about one steady march of expanding what we mean by we the people. Whether it is the abolition of slavery, the inclusion of women's rights, the civil rights movement, increasingly welcoming immigrants. In each of these cases, a few brave souls, often at the risk of themselves, had the moral courage to act. Everything that we hold dear, that we point to with pride and progress, has come at the expansion of a we. Now, there is no doubt that this great experiment has yielded incredible dividends. By any measure, we're talking about economic progress, the fundamental belief that everyone has something to contribute, has made us who we are, the land of the free and the brave. He states that we are at an inflection point in our society, that we face incredible challenges. He states that during uncertainty, it is natural to gravitate towards those who claim that if we give them all the power, they will make the uncertainty go away. But this is not true of history, and our country proves that this is not true. It is this idea that we stand together that has made us who we are. It is our commitment to the idea that progress comes when we invest in every individual, when we allow them to realize their fullest potential and make their greatest contribution. Everyone has something to contribute, so let's bet on that. We have an opportunity to carry the legacy of those brave men and women who throughout our history had the courage to continue this great American experiment. See, my independence depends on you. My independence depends on you. So how? Well, one thing, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men, women, beings are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So we do this, of course, with our thoughts and with our actions. We pray and we meditate. If you've ever heard of heart math has done studies where groups of people meditating will actually lower the crime rate in that area. We ask ourselves, what kind of ripple are we creating? We vote. We recycle. We consider the purchases that we're making and the impact that they have around the world around us. There's actually a store right here in Dover called Replenish, which is a sustainable gifts and refillery store. And that's popping up all over Europe, and it's popping up in different towns. I know there's one in Newburyport too, where instead of all this plastic waste, like, does everyone remember like when we first started recycling, we had the little blue tub? Now everyone's got these gigantic containers, bringing them out to the corner. But even that, and that's great that we're recycling, but we can take it one step further with zero waste. And some of that is going to those stores where you can fill up your container with soap, and you can, you've got everything in there. They're better for the environment, and it keeps all our landfills from being full. So those are different ways. We can educate ourselves in areas of racism and white privilege. Two of my friends and colleagues, Reverend Ogun Holder and Rev Kelly Isola, have a ministry that they call Project Sanctus, and they're really dedicated to, they have a book group usually on some type of literature around racism and white privilege, and they also have affinity groups, so people can in a loving and safe environment unpack some of the things to know, so that we can do better when we know better. So we can shift our thinking about that and show up more powerfully for those around us. think my battery wore out. Oh, can you hear me? Okay, cool. For a minute there, no. Okay. So check out Together We Stand. They have so many really cool different things on that site. One of them I came across, and I want to take this on because I'm realizing that, what can I say? I'm an Irish girl. You know, I can be on some of the things that I'm passionate about. I can be a little stubborn. And I came across something on that site from Ursha Manju. And Ursha Manju, like, was considered like a cultural warrior. She would show up at these places to debate things and loved being raped and all of that. And so she wrote a book um, entitled Don't Label Me. And it's about how to heal the us versus them divisions that are ripping apart America and much of the world. She states that diversity is not a human construct, but a fact of life. The question is, are we going to let it rip society apart? Or are we going to let that diversity stitch us together? She said something interesting that made perfect sense to me. She said that we're born with a portion of our brain that actually scans for trouble, like every 5 seconds or something, or 5 times in 2 seconds. So our brain is always doing that. She says that when we come across someone with a different point of view, that permanent part of our brain gets active. And we can feel more strength and defensive than we really need to be. And that in turn can make us lash out to prove that we're right. She says that when we label people, like she used the example of Democrats and Republicans. She's like, so if you're a Democrat, I don't want to listen to anything you have to say. And if you're a Republican, you must be evil or whatever. And she uses that. She says there's nothing wrong with, it's not the labels, it's what we do with the labels, right? If we keep it from being separate. She says that the problem with that too is that we as human beings are static. We're always growing and evolving and changing. And then we're repressing, and then we're evolving and changing again. So we're static. So labels put people in a box. It doesn't give them the opportunity to grow and change and shift and change their mind. So that's the thing about when we label anyone and put them in any particular group. So I don't know about you, I've never liked it when someone's put me in a box or a label. So she says that she has a skill set. She offers a skill set that can help us reduce our emotional defense and turn contentious issues into constructive conversations. She said the first thing to do is to breathe. And that's because a lot of us, like, I know even I do this too. Like when I'm upset or nervous, I tend to breathe shallowly, like maybe now. Right, so it's just taking a moment, like when we're like, to just breathe. And breathe as deeply as we can. And maybe do that a couple of times before we, it's called practicing the power of the pause, to just take a moment to breathe first before we. She says, and I love these things that she said, don't merely seek common ground, but proactively create it. Which is something like this. I know that we don't agree on this issue, but here's what I also know. I know that you're more than this issue. And could you remember that about me? She also says that before stating where you're coming from, ask a sincere question. She says, be a leader that doesn't have to be right all the time. You can ask someone, what do you think I'm missing about where you're coming from? what do you think I'm missing? And she says the fourth step is actually that you now need to listen. And she points out that there are two ways to listen, right? And I'm like, I've been on both sides of the spectrum, right? We can listen to learn, or we can listen to be right. Yeah. We can. Which mic do you, oh, this one? Okay. You can hear me now. Ooh, okay. So it's like we can listen to learn and we can listen to win. Like we don't have to be, we can actually listen, like really listen. There's a great book called Be Heard Now that a lot of people in public speaking do that. And we took that on as a church. My friend Tom Polini and I, and we had this group where people would get up and they would speak. And you, like the feedback, like you had to really be present. And there were guidelines about what you could say in terms of feedback. You could talk about like your feelings and how it, wow, that really touched me or moved me. But you couldn't be like, you should have been louder. You know, like it wasn't any of that, but you really had to be fully present. And it was so healing. So healing. Like when people feel like they're heard, it's an act of grace. Because here's the thing about grace also. We are the grace givers. Like we can extend grace. We can create it. And here's the last question she says. So after we've done that, we've listened, we can say, tell me more. Tell me more. Now, if you've ever read any of the Unity classics like Eye of the Storm, I don't know why, but it makes me think of karaoke when I use one of these. I want to be like, Tommy used to work on the docks. But so she says, tell me more, right? And that's a great thing because, and it takes, here's the thing, and I know for myself as well, it takes a lot of spiritual maturity, especially if someone's saying, meh, 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 and this, and it's like, you know, like every, like they manage to have been hitting every single possible button that you might have. Here's the thing too, like our buttons, who do our buttons belong to? Right. So tell me more. Tell me more about why you think this is a good idea or a bad idea, or where are you coming from, and tell me more and get at that, because even behind every seemingly complaint is an unmet need. Tell me more. And it may have nothing to do with the thing that you're talking about. It could be that they haven't had breakfast, right? It could be that they've just lost a loved one, or that someone they love is having a physical challenge or something like that. Like we never know what's going on in another person's life. And it really takes, that's that, you know, we say namaste, which I don't think we did this morning. So namaste, everybody. Right? But that's really an active form of namaste, when we can really be there for one another and be present for one another. You know, our third unity principle states that we create our experiences with our thoughts and words and I would also add actions. So at the beginning of the talk, I mentioned the power of we. And so I'm going to leave you with this quote. It's one of my favorites. Never doubt what a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. I believe Kevin's coming up for a song. Excellent. Watch it. Alrighty. So I thought this morning that what we would do is a loving kindness blessing as part of our meditation, because it really is in alignment with that, my independence depends on you. So I'm just going to invite you to get comfortable in your chairs, release anything from your lap. Like I said, I always get a little antsy before I sit and meditate, so I like to wiggle my toes. I might even rub my leg, put my hand on my heart. And what I invite you to do is to invoke the power of love. So putting your hand on your heart sometime is a great way of, of doing that to bring us here. And just imagine this most beautiful golden light pink bubble. And repeat these words silently to yourself. May I be at peace. May my mind remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all beings. May I be at peace. May my heart and my mind remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all beings. Now just imagine that pink light just expanding and expanding. Seeing it encapsulating everyone that is in this room. Maybe everyone that is in the town of Dover. And then expanding it to the state of New Hampshire. And then seeing it even go beyond that, the whole country. And silently say to yourself, may you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. Maybe bring to mind someone that you might have, a discord with or an issue with, or something that needs to be healed between you. Or maybe even an organization. And in that act of namaste and love, silently say, may you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. Just see that love and that light expanding, expanding, expanding. May there be peace on earth. May the hearts of all people be open to themselves and each other. May all people awaken to the light of their own true nature. May all creation be blessed and be a blessing to all that is. Let there be peace on earth. May all the hearts of all people be open to themselves and each other. May all people awaken to the light of their own true nature. May all creation be blessed and be a blessing to all that is. And when you're ready, and I always start by bringing my hand out if I've had it up on my heart, and I open it up in receptivity to allow in light and allow love and grace in. And then as I allow it in, I can more easily reflect it back to those around me. And when you're ready, come back into this room. Wiggle your toes, scrunch your nose. Say thank you. So it is.
Thank you, Amy. I realized I forgot one of the most important things in my heart. If we could just do it now, which is our Sanskrit word namaste. How we greet each other. The divine in me sees and honors the divine in you. Namaste. Okay. Gosh, I haven't done this part for years. Let's see if it comes back. Anyway, we have we have a prayer box up here, and there's a pencil and paper there if you want to add anyone you'd care to in your prayer box. Or also, those of you who are listening live stream, you may, put in the comments if you feel free to, or as Tom says, put a smiley face, whatever you feel free to. And the great part about it is our prayer team prays over all these names for 1 month. And then we send it on to our mother church, Unity in Missouri, and they pray another 30 days over the names. So it's a constant kind of, I call it roundabout, but anyway, it's constant praying for all the names that have been put down. And I think it's wonderful. Prayer, I know for me is so important. Without, I always say without God, prayer, I'm nothing. I'm so grateful. And also we have another gift. We call it a gift. It's a gift of tithing. Yeah, if thank you, Tracy. Tracy will pass the blue, if your heart's called to tithing. And one thing what I learned about tithing was if I feel I have to, then it wasn't tithing. It's only when my heart wants to give, it's tithing. And I learned that a long time ago. And I love the idea yesterday about the yard sale. What a great turnout. And, so grateful that we can just keep moving one foot forward. So, let's see, where's that? Yeah. Okay. The prayer of tithes and offerings is divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive it. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Tracy. We'll now end. This is the end of our service. And again, I want to thank Amy for coming to share again. That's exactly what happened before when we were moving Union Seacoast forward, inviting speakers. Whenever I called her, she was always there to come and share with us. Thank you, Amy. This is called the prayer protection. Yes. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are richly blessed. Yes, we are. Okay, thank you. Now we'll end with the song, the peace song, which is up. Oh, I thought it was up there anyway.
Is it the last song?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. I didn't know. Circle?